Hi there Sagittarius, welcome back to Wild Lotus Tarot. This is going to be your weekly intuitive reading for December 14th through to the 20th, Sagi. Let's see what is on the cards for you. Just letting you know that you can find me on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok, and all the website details for personal readings are below the video as well. So today guys, I'll be getting started with the Work Your Light Oracle and then drawing you an overarching tarot energy from the Moonchild Tarot, and we'll get out the tarot positions with the Rider-Waite, and I'm clarifying with the Radiant Rider today also. So let's get your Oracle card, Sagi, for the collective. What is the message please for Sagittarius? Okay, I'll take that one there that is flipped over. I have got dance with life. Do something to change your energy. And it's really interesting that sometimes, you know, we really want change in our lives, but if we're not willing to actually do something differently, to shift up our energy, to change our vibration, generally things stay the same. And we've all heard the definition of insanity, right? If we, you know, do what we always did, we get what we always got. So this card is saying if you do want to invite change into your life, what can you do to shift up your own personal energy, to raise your vibration? Even exercise, spending more time in nature, meditating, or practicing radical discontinuity, choosing the opposite of what you normally would to, you know, create those new neural pathways to sort of shock the system up a little bit. This card personally reminds me of the energy of the world in the Major Arcana as well. It has the Dancer here that is kind of getting ready to flow with ease and grace into a new chapter of life, and, you know, doing what is required to make that happen. So some of you might be getting ready for a larger cyclic change as well. Let's get out your overarching tarot theme for Sagittarius, please. Here we go. I have got the 8 of Wands, and this is interesting guys in relation to what we've just spoken about, because this is about swift change, and it can also be that energy of divine intervention also. It talks about you know, energy change and shifts, and it can be a message coming in for some of you that comes through the airwaves, that for some of you brings a new opportunity or something like that. It is also known as the card of Cupid's arrows if some of you are looking to, you know, flow into a new romantic connection or partnership as well. But really I'm feeling that divine intervention, that shift in energy, that change that some of you may need to kind of move into a new cycle as well. So that's the 8 of Wands. It can be swift change, and it also reminds me of that whole doing a 180 in life, you know, like things actually turning around, the tables turning also. So it can also indicate travel as well. It's that time of the year where those of you that are able to might be considering you know, traveling to meet family, and it might mean that maybe there is change or something to be found in that trip also. Let's go to the tarot guys, and I will be drawing the energy of the recent past, energies leaving, completing or transitioning in your life. If this is your reading, Sagittarius, can we have the first energy please? There, it's flipping, I'll take that one. 3 of Pentacles, maybe laying new foundations, getting ready to make new dreams solid, maybe coming together with others, like-minded souls. In your current or focus energy, another 3. So we've got 3 and 3. We've got the Empress from the Major Arcana. She says anything is possible, guys, and so far this is very, very creative energy. Let's go for the outcome. Outcome result energy please for Sagittarius. Two of Pentacles, maybe some indecision. We will get to see what the clarifier is for that one. I've got the 5 of Swords at the bottom of the deck here. It's going to be important to go with your own flow here and not go against your current. So let's get the clarifier for the, okay, for the 3 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. Well, I think some of you are starting some kind of creative venture which has the promise for great stability into the future. Clarifying the Empress, number 3 in the Major Arcana. For Sagittarius. Page of Wands. There's definitely a message of good news for some of you between the 8 of Wands and the Page of Wands, maybe about abundance, maybe about a creative opportunity or something that you've been trying to manifest. I think it's going to put you in a state of indecision though, Sagittarius. Sometimes we want these things until they become real, and then all of a sudden it's like, I'm going to need to make some really big life changes to actually be able to grasp that opportunity, and it kind of puts us into a little bit of inner turmoil. 5 of Swords. Oh, here we go. Here we go. The World. I was totally feeling that with the Dance of Life Oracle card. You're going to need to close out a cycle in order to accept this opportunity. Here's the going against the grain. I'm getting goosebumps. It's so important for you to flow with, not against this week, Sagi. I've got the Hermit, Virgo, number 9 from the Major Arcana at the bottom of the deck. So what can I say, Sagi? Yeah, I think some of you have been going through a period of digging deep this year. Who hasn't, right? Things have been shifted upside down. Tables have turned. Energy has moved. We've reconsidered our life path. We've wondered what our purpose is. We've felt the deeper callings. And the Hermit for me, I'm just goosebumping all over. The Hermit for me is that I think that you have been seeking maybe a little more than some, going within to seek your own counsel, to seek your own intuitive guidance for the way forward. Some of you have been seeking a rebirth, maybe a personal rebirth, or a total change and shift up in your situation. And Spirit is saying that maybe this is the week that a fundamental piece of that falls into place, and it could be through a message coming in, or something that you've been dreaming or desiring starting to come to realization is what I'm really feeling here. So that's the Hermit energy. It links to the star. You can see the star burning in the lantern there, and the meaning here is that the more we go inside and seek and self-reflect and really sort of do that internal alchemy to kind of figure out where we want to go in life, because we're trying to find a path when the Hermit's in the reading, the brighter that star energy burns, and of course the brighter it burns, the more the path forward, the new way is illuminated. So there's a sense that some of you have kind of been maybe a little bit in the dark, knowing you want to change, you've wanted to go in a different direction, but potentially, you know, it's like that realization of something needs to change, something's got to give, but I just don't know what the alternative is or where to go. The universe is starting to respond to your calls and open that up for you. So that star energy, which is the energy of rebirth, of total, you know, recalibration, of divine, you know, moving towards your divine wishes, is starting to illuminate the path forward. That's what I'm trying to feel. And I think that you have been busy manifesting something. I mean, I'm kind of go sort of intuitive styles here, guys. Like, I know I'm sort of going out of my positions, but I'm feeling called to do that here, you know, with the 3 of Pentacles and the Empress. I mean, this really says to me that the calls that you've been putting out there, the dreams, the desires, the manifestations are starting to come into fruition. I mean, the Empress is about birthing dreams and desires into the physical, tangible world, so they're actually becoming realized. The 3 of Pentacles is the next step on that. It's like we can actually start to see the solid results. We're in the planning stage where we're laying the foundation. We might be calling in like-minded people and team, creative people. We're talking about it, we're making it happen. So of course it's going to be different for all of you, whatever this is. I'm probably feeling with all these pentacles here that it is more something to do with business, career, you know, creative ventures or something like that, or also maybe a physical relocation or move, property kind of situation for some of you. The Empress says that anything is possible currently, so keep putting your energy in the right place. When the Empress comes into a reading, she is an indicator of abundance and blessings. So she kind of says that this is sort of a blessed path that's opening up for you. Keep going and keep doing what you're doing. So that is the energy here. And just keeping in mind that the Empress is the embodiment of the divine feminine energy. So she asks you to be more and do less in order to hear her wisdom and to get the downloads and the intuition to help you move forward. So when we're kind of like running around at a million miles an hour, we can't really hear the subtle signs and messages that might be trying to guide us, you know, that divine intervention. Yeah, so I'm feeling here with the Page of Wands. For me, this is potentially that message or that opportunity coming through for you. Together with the Eight of Wands, this kind of says it could be a synchronistic opportunity or message that comes through that provides that new beginning, that new inspiration for you. The Page of Wands is a card of good news, and it's kind of like, if we think about this together with the Hermit, it's quite interesting because we see these two characters. One's in the dark, just with a lantern, and then the Page of Wands is in the desert and finds a wand. So it's kind of like we're coming out of the darkness, and in the place where we thought there was no growth, or we've kind of felt like we were in a bit of isolation, we were going it alone, kind of wondering, you know, what's going to happen next. There's nothing around me. I'm feeling like it's barren land. Now the opportunities start to come in. We're emerging out. We're finding the growth. We're getting our power and our passion back. And potentially we're finding inspired opportunities. And that could come through a message or a tip-off or something that we hear or see from outside of ourselves that triggers what was, you know, what we were manifesting internally is what I'm seeing here. And I really feel that when that comes through, it's going to put you in the state of indecision. Two of Pentacles, because as I mentioned, when these cards came out, we can have the big dreams. Say, you know, I'd love to relocate to the other side of the state and become, I don't know, a creative entrepreneur or something like that. And then when that opportunity actually starts to present itself to us, we can freak out because we know we need to then follow through with the action. And there's going to be all sorts of upheaval and things we need to deal with. So if the Two of Pentacles can be feeling the high emotions of that, can be feeling unsteady and ungrounded and kind of weighing this up. It's like, is this really what I wanted after all? And that, I feel, is the Five of Swords, right? It's like we're kind of fighting a bit of an internal battle, and we know that potentially we need to walk away from something in order to accept this. Because that is Swords energy, it can be getting all up into the head of the logistics of it, the costs, you know, how it's going to all pan out. But remember, the Hermit energy has come back to what you really felt about the situation, come back to, you know, what you really want on an intuitive level. Feel into it and really truly feel how that aligns for you. So that's what I'm feeling there. And just to address the Seven of Wands is like, you know, this is kind of resistance energy towards the end, like resisting the change. And the Oracle card is saying, hey, we need to do something to shift our energy. We need to do something to shift our life. Otherwise, we can stay in the Seven of Wands. And this is the energy of feeling, you know, challenged. And for me, this is my card of pushing against the grain of our divine plan. The universe is trying to move you somewhere. So just make sure that you are flowing with the dance of life, that you are going with that flow. Otherwise, you know, we can end up just kind of staying where we are. And we can see there in the card that the warrior has the higher ground and that beautiful expanse, that fertile pasture that's full of those possibilities is actually right behind him or her. So it's kind of saying you're actually already there. All you need to do is loosen your grip, surrender to the last pieces, make the decision and go for it, because, you know, we might be pushing against the grain for no reason. And in the outcome energy, I've got the World with the Ten of Pentacles. It's saying if you can just jump through that hoop of change, then you could end up in a much greater position of stability, financially reassured, you know, building a beautiful, happy home, somewhere that you really love well into the future. And I'm not saying it's going to go from the 2 and 3 of Pentacles to the 10 this week. I feel like this is the longer term view and vision of it. So the World, I mean, the World is the last card in the Major Arcana, and for me it's big cycles. It can be like 10-year cycles, so it could be saying that's kind of where we're heading. The World is a card of big karmic completion and cyclic endings, and of course, you know, we're coming up to the end of 2020. Things start climaxing at this time of the year. We've also got some pretty wild astrology going on. We've got the new moon in Sagittarius. I should have said this at the start. Total solar eclipse on Monday, the 14th of December, guys. Some of you might be watching this after that. Just know that it's a really, really potent time for endings and new beginnings simultaneously. So you can do your own little ritual. You can work with that energy and just say, hey, you know what, I surrender to my divine plan. I'm releasing what is not in alignment, and I am welcoming in what is, even if you don't know what those things are that you're aiming to. It's just making that declaration to the universe. So the World is a victory card. It says whatever cycle you're wrapping up, it's in good timing. There's nothing else to be learnt here. You're taking the lessons and development of that into a new cycle now, one that could just provide you with fantastic abundance down the track. And the Empress says anything is possible. You know, keep going, don't resist the change, and potentially look out for synchronistic messages as well, or messages that come through other people, or even things that you see, you know, on social media and that type of thing that could give you a divine tip off. Okay, Saggy, I am going to leave it there. I have an exciting feeling that's going to be a powerful month for you. I'm feeling like this is not just a weekly thing. Do keep in mind it's a general reading though, guys. There might be pieces of it that resonate. Maybe the whole thing does. Sometimes none of it does, and that's totally fine. It's just not your reading. I find that when I watch readings as well, there's a period of time when I need to hear them, that the reader's messages are like it was a personal reading for me, and then it falls out of alignment. It's not for me anymore. Maybe I've taken the piece that I need from that. If you're called to share, leave me a comment. I do read them all, guys, and I do try my best to respond to as many as I can, apart from unconstructive ones. And yeah, I just find it helps me get to know you guys, connect with your energies, and see what's happening out there on the collective. And guys, I will see you back here next week for another one. Bye for now.